one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, peace, peace. Alright. Isn't it time for the stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. Alright. One loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, peace. Alright. Isn't it time for the stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, all we gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. Alright, peace, peace, together. Peace. Thank you guys for joining me on Shadow Chasing Show in Between Two Worlds Radio. I have been, I would have been on a lot sooner, but we had no power. We went in a blackout, and I thought, I wonder why, if this is going to be a blackout just before the 7th and 8th of January. But, you know, what can I say? I was wondering, I thought, I wonder if this is the time. I got kind of, well, not say worried, but I had I don't know. Anyways, we had no power, no internet. It ended up being more than expected. So I had to be patient. I had to wait till the power came back on. I wasn't sure if it was. Unfortunately, fortunately, not unfortunately, but fortunately, I had some really good friends out there that my wife contacted, and she said that there were certain areas. So basically, these are called pockets of no power. And so basically, here, this is what's basically is going on right now with, you know, our neighborhood. So that's why I said that I'm late getting in here. We had the power came back on just before 7 o'clock. So it took me a while to get all set up because I had to start the computer. I had to get into, getting everything all set up. I got my two screens here, plus my microphone, plus this one over here. I have a spare one going here on my other screen. So I got three screens running at the same time. And I watch one area of the chat room, plus where I am over here. It's getting to be busier. Eventually, I will have my third monitor hooked up over here. So yeah, it's I'm still busy doing my stuff. What can I say? Like I said before, apologies that I'm was hoping that it wasn't the real blackout, but again, what happened was what friends of mine actually called me, or my wife called them, and she said it was a major car accident, and the people that crashed into the internet uh, box, as well as the power unit. So basically, they knocked out everything. So it was an emergency. So basically, they had to call the guys in to do the emergency recovery. And apparently, there was like 3 or 4 trucks down there hurrying up, I guess, getting them down there and trying to hook up. So they were like boom, 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 and we had to wait. So basically, they said, well, we'll estimated time they'll try and get it hooked up before 7 o'clock. So, and they knew that a lot of us are running radio programs, shows, especially when you don't have internet. And funny things, my wife and I she was running around the house, getting all the battery operated lights all up. And what we did is we actually went down to Home Depot, by say midsummer. And I bought some brand new lights that actually fold out like a fan, like 4-sided, or no, 3-sided. And these lights can turn, twist, and they're very bright, and they have a magnet in the back, and they're basically, you charge them up like a battery, and they can actually attach to the ceiling or on the side. They clamp. They're really good to have, especially if you're doing outside shows like myself. I'm doing a lot of outdoor stuff. So if you don't have any power, this for lights, this is the best thing to have. So we bought 4 boxes, and I grabbed my candle, because in my office, that's the first thing I grabbed was my candle, lit my candle, and a small flashlight. And I just want to make sure everything's right, because I wasn't sure if it was just me or was the whole neighborhood, and apparently affected everybody, even slowed down traffic. So it affected everybody. We had no power here for, uh, so it was nuts. We had no power. So if anybody who actually lives in my area of Surrey, BC, I'm up there 82nd and King George. So apparently it was quite, they said over 1,100, 1,200 homes that were affected by no power, plus no traffic lights. They pretty well had to go slow. And like it was power, boom, boom. Everything was out black. I've never had a blackout. I guess to say this is the second time we had a blackout, but this is a real blackout. So I guess to say what Spirit's doing, or people are doing, or preparing us to see what a blackout really is. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what happened. We went through a blackout, and like I said, no internet either. I couldn't reach out to anybody to tell them what was going on. We had nothing, because they knocked out the internet box, which is a TELUS, right? This is our internet service. And I thought, okay, I'll just go on my own. I turned off my Wi-Fi, went outdoors. I could not even do that. Like, there was no antenna, no tower. It turned off everything. Okay. So I had no way to connect with people, and the only way I can connect with people was only by phone. So we did our best. I was calling some friends of mine to see if they were be able to answer their phone. I'm not sure if their power went out, but again, some of you guys are in the chat room. Some of you actually know personally that actually know that you had power or no power. So if your power went out, mine went out possibly. So again, it's affected by everybody in different neighborhoods. In fact, one of my very good friends actually was at the airport. She was coming home from Alberta, and I informed her ahead of time there's no power here in Surrey because she lives not too far from me. And but she couldn't. You can't do anything about it if you're just coming home off the plane. So what like I just tell people, make sure, because you check all your clocks. If they're blinking like crazy, it means you had no power. So my wife had to run around the house and do all the clocks and everything. So anyways, I'm here. We're here. And my what I wanted to do tonight, I wanted to swing into I would say welcome the new year. And some of you may not understand, and I will bring this up because if you haven't really figured it out, back in, I would say, the late 1600s, our calendar got changed. Okay. It's not the true calendar. They have the Gregorian calendar, and this is what the priests had done. They changed our calendar on us. So normally we're supposed to have 13 months. Okay. So in 1928, we did have 13 months. And for some reason, it got changed, I guess, by the government, whatever have you. They decided to change it and make it into a 12-month period. Now, to me, I got a feeling that they're making it as a 12-month period to, I guess, to say, to control the masses, possibly, or because it could be something to do with daylight saving times. I do not know. I'm not sure what their beneficial idea was, but basically, the 13 months in 1928, all of them would be like February. So a new month would come after June. So if the international fixed calendar was adopted, okay, if adopted again, like basically you want to bring it back again, which I'm hoping they do, because your 13 months would be far better for you than having to go with 12. Okay, so this is, and I'll tell you why, because you have more daylight. Because let's put it this way. So as we speak right now, originally February or January 1st, not February, sorry, January 1st is actually, or the true, let's put it this way, the true New Year's of 2024 is actually January 22. Okay, so it's January 22nd. If you want to go with the original calendar as it's supposed to be, the true original traditional calendar. So basically, Lincoln's birthday, actually, for example, Abraham Lincoln's birthday was actually February 15th. Okay. And Washington's birthday is on the 25th of February. These are the month of February. So the thing is that a lot of things got changed around completely. So I'll give you an example, guys. Let's bring this part up here. One of my cool calendars. And I'll show you through the Facebook page. We'll just swing back there. And if you'll notice here, okay, and then some of you may already know this, but originally, now for January 2024, originally, our Christmas is not supposed to happen until the 7th of January. Now, here's the crazy part of it. My father always said he never really truthfully celebrated Christmas until the 7th of January. When he was a little boy, he always believed that the 7th of January was the true Christmas, December 25. So that tells me that, and my father would say, well, they call that Ukrainian Christmas or a European Christmas. How would he know that? Even though he was born 1932, but he believed, because his family, his mom and dad, and they said the true calendar was changed. The 13th month calendar was changed. So most of you today have no idea what it's supposed to have been. I'm hoping they go back to what it was. So if you look at here, guys, say Monday, the 1st of January is actually originally December the 19th. Okay. So the true Christmas is the 7th of January. So right now, originally it's supposed to be as we are Gregorian wise, it's actually December 22nd. So the true Christmas is actually not even here yet. Now, why did people change it back to December 25th of the Gregorian? Is because it's their celebration, not our true Christmas. So now we got December 22nd, 23rd, 24th. So 25th, your December 25th, true Christmas is January the 7th. And so that's basically if your true New Year's, okay, is the 14th of January. Some people say it's actually the 22nd, 2-2. So this is the true traditional calendar. And there are people still want to believe. Now, there is actually a country, I believe it's somewhere near Haiti, and they've never changed their calendar. In fact, they're 7 months behind us. Okay, 7 years behind us. So their belief is it's not 2024 where they live, it's still back there, 7 years ago. So they're still behind us, but that's their belief because they have a 13th month calendar. Okay. So now, if you look at it another way too, is, let's see here. Let's have a look on. Okay, let's look here. Where is that one? Easter always was April the 8th. Okay. But yet, originally we're supposed to be starting our spring in March. Okay. Or our beginning our first year was supposed to be March, not January. So it's actually quite interesting how that whole thing got changed. Now, a lot of people know the true history of it. Let's see here. I want to bring this up and see if I have it here. International fixed calendar. Okay. So this is called the International Fixed Calendar. And this is what it's supposed to look like. So Monday is the first day each year and each month. Now, Sunday is the last day of each month. Okay. Leap days work according to the Gregorian calendar, but the leap day is added as the 29th of June. So one day left over as the New Year's Day, which does not belong to any month and acts as a Sunday. Okay. Now, the interesting part of it is, if you noticed that there is your calendar. Now, the 4th month is spelled Sol, S-O-L. And how come that month is gone? That means you got 28 days in Sol. You got 28 days in June. You got 28 days in May. You got 28 days in April. You don't have 30 or 31. Everything is a 28 day. Okay. Except, yeah, every month is supposed to have a 28 day. Now you try to figure that one out. Every month has a 28 day, not 30, not 29, not 31st. But that's the true calendar right here. The International Fixed Calendar, which actually is corrected in accordance with the ISO 8601 date and time standard. That's the new traditional original calendar. That one right there. That is your true calendar. See, every month has a 28 day. So the month of Sol, S-O-L. You remember people used to say you're S-O-L? Well, guess what? Not shit out of luck. That they were using that word, but that's not true. SOL means that you missed that whole month. There's 28 days in that. So the month is actually the April, May. This is your first month, April, May, June. The 4th of Sol. The 5th is July. 6th is August, September, October, November. Now guess what? Guess what the original end of the year is? Okay? The end of the year is not December. The end of the year is January, February, and March. Okay? Go figure that one. That's your true 13th month calendar. Now, according to some people believe, or a story regarding a priest, some or pope or whatever he is, a pastor, pope, I guess he wanted to call longer daylight. So they decided to change the calendar and time to, that's why we have daylight savings time too, by the way. They changed the clocks back and forth and back and forth. Everybody's been messing with our weather. People have been messing with our clock, as in true living clock. It's actually our sunrise and sunset. They're messing with our sunrise and sunset. Okay, the true sunrise is 5 a.m. The true sunset is 5 p.m. But yet they will, now if you went and you brought back an hour or two, your sunrise would be 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. If I'm in northern Alberta, the sun would go down at midnight and it would rise again at 3 a.m. Very short time period. Why do you think Alaska has 24 hours of sunlight for about what, 6, 7, 8 months? See what I mean? So it is interesting how all this is actually coming to fruition now. We're going to go and we will be going through this experience. And I'm hoping that we get our true, I guess to say true lives back, as far as the true calendars. It's time to get that fixed, because it's getting to be monotonous. And so I wanted to share that with you tonight because I felt it was important. We all need to know what is going on in this world, right? So hi Bonnie, hi guys, all you guys that are, I got my power back. Like I said before, I was in candlelight for a little bit, and then we start bringing out our battery or our lamps and lanterns and that sort of thing. Now, one more thing I want to do before I forget, let me put that over here, cancel that, is, okay, I will save that for later. Yeah. I want to use that one and save that for later. Okay, tonight, yes, I am going to be doing psychic readings and mediumship. That is my career. I've been doing this for many, many years. And a lot of you may notice that I haven't been doing it as much as I used to on the program. I actually have been starting to bring it in this past month. Start getting into it more often, more information, because the thing is that, sure, we've been out there trying to fight for our rights as who we are and fight for our freedoms, but we've actually forgotten to stay in contact with the loved ones that are crossed over. A lot of people, I was getting itchy throat here, or parched throat. A lot of people out there today are still, like, we've lost over 2 billion loved ones across the world. And it has become heartbreaking for many. And like I tell a lot of people, we have a lot of psychics that are people coming in now, but a lot of young ones today are start noticing the connection with the spirit world. And many of them want to figure out how come they're actually starting to see spirits or experiencing them, or the energies around them. And nothing's negative. Nothing, not evil. It's not a bad thing. There are people out there who are believing that it's not good, they're thinking it's bad because some people are trying to tell them now it's not a good thing. Well, these guys don't realize, you just don't know what is really going on. Okay. There's always a belief system. People will try to convince others, well, according to the Bible, this, and according to the Bible, that. Well, guess what? Jesus was a medium. Okay. God spoke to him, and Jesus became a healer. Jesus was given that gift. That's why he became the Christ. He was blessed as the Christ, and he traveled many ways. And he wasn't just the only one. There's many others that are like him that they asked to help him do the work. He didn't do this all alone. He traveled everywhere, but he had others also help him to get out there and to meet others and to share the wisdom. You'll hear many stories of people out there that have been doing so much to help others, and it has, some of the stories have been lost. You will start to eventually, you'll start, once the new Bible comes out, which will be new Bible will be re-revised, the proper one that has been recovered. There's over 777 chapters that are the true chapters that have been stored away and hidden away from us, that was in the Vatican. The Vatican did not want us to see what really went on in the past. So that's being brought to the surface. We have some really wonderful people there that recovered it and brought them back. So now they are going to bring out the real documented chapters. And according to the Book of Enoch, all that and some. So that's going to come out. You will get to have an opportunity to see them, and they will show you what was recovered. That will come to the surface eventually. They will bring that to the public to see. They'll probably make a documentary out of that as well. So it's going to be quite interesting. There's a lot of things that we are, people are still afraid of seeing what the future is going to be like. I tell people this: don't worry about your future. Like, as far as it, like right now, I had some fun last night. I actually went on a page in our Telegram, and there's a one of the pages that I went to, one of the groups I was on, and someone actually has Alexa. Okay, they have this little recorder, and you ask Alexa a question. And one of the fellows later, I discovered this particular recording. It wasn't actually off the page, off of Telegram, but someone sent me another recording of Alexa that this person asked a question, and I got the video of it. And they said, "Okay, here. This is what I'll do. Let's see. I will see if I can bring it up, and you guys can listen to it and see what your thoughts are." Let's see. Where are we here? No, that's not it. Bring it down. Okay. Where's that one? Where are you? Okay. Let's see here.
Alexa, when does the lockdown begin for disclosure?
From Houdanit. The strict lockdown will begin at midnight between January 7th and 8th and will last for at least 2 weeks, depending on morbidity indices. Did that answer your question? From Houdanit. The strict lockdown will begin at midnight between January 7th and 8th and will last for at least 2 weeks, depending on morbidity indices.
I'm not sure if you guys ever heard that one. Let's see here. Let's try this again one more time.
Alexa, when does the lockdown begin for disclosure?
From Houdanit. The strict lockdown will begin at midnight between January 7th and 8th and will last for at least 2 weeks, depending on morbidity indices. Question? From Who Audience. The strict lockdown will begin at midnight between January 7th and 8th and will last for at least 2 weeks, depending on morbidity indices.
Okay. So basically, supposedly, this person asked Alexa if there will ever be another lockdown. They said, and Alexa said yes, January 7th and 8th, and it will be for 2 weeks. Now, why would that be brought up? They're just saying January the 7th and 8th for 2 weeks. Now, is that January 7th, 8th, and 2024? According to this one, it's supposed to be. Now, whether it happens and whether it doesn't, and here's the thing, folks. I always tell people this. If it is, just be prepared to, again, conserve everything you can for the next 2 weeks. There must be a reason. Now, if it does happen, be prepared. If it doesn't, then don't worry about it. This is why we always try to be prepared. And we're always prepared. Like people have always said, prepare. Like, for example, if you're traveling somewhere, when you're going to say you want to go on a vacation, what do? You gather goods. You get a whole bunch of, safety equipment, or, first aid kits and extra foods and drinks. And those are the things you actually, that you gather around just in case by some chance you get lost somewhere, or if you ever do run out of food, or you're unable to go to a restaurant or go somewhere for a bite to eat, or if you can't, that sort of thing. Like basically you're creating yourself a emergency kit, and you put it away in your vehicle wherever you travel, but it's with you, right? So the thing is, that's what this is all about. So if it does happen, if January the 7th and 8th, and Alexa does say, Alexa is making a prediction. And here's the crazy part of it, folks. We were asking questions to Alexa, and we actually asked Alexa, who programmed you? And Alexa said, Amazon. Okay. Amazon programmed Alexa. And then we asked, well, who were the people by name that programmed you? And she gave about 7 or 8 names. One was very peculiar of a name, but I'm not going to mention that one. Again, I tell people this. If Alexa's supposed to be, and sometimes Alexa will say, according to this, according to that, according to this, according to that. But if Alexa by voice is placing that prediction, or basically saying this is what's going to happen, well, how would they know if it is? How would anybody know? The only people are going to know that if there's going to be a lockdown, that would be by the higher sources of people that are involved. If it's going to happen, then they're preparing you. But why all of a sudden we're being informed ahead of time? Now, if we're getting the heads up, great. If we're not getting proper heads up, then it's not going to happen. We don't know. So we just have to go with what our gut feeling tells us. This is the reason why, and I tell people this, as an intuitive myself, if you're going to feel that something's going to happen, whether it's good or bad, and for example, as we speak today, and actually we also asked Alexa last night, how many volcanic activities are there across the world? Volcanic activities. She said 47 or 48 volcanic activities. That's a lot of volcanoes that are active, not there in existence. I mean, they're active now as we speak. And I actually watched a lot of videos of many volcanoes that are going off all over the world, including Hawaii, Brazil, Japan, everywhere. And actually now Japan's got the second tsunami. Back in 2011, it had a second tsunami, or first tsunami. And I predicted that one when my friend Ron Bard was supposed to go, and I was supposed to go with him to Japan in March of 2007. And for some reason, I had this nightmarish dreams for 3 nights. And I kept telling Ron, you shouldn't go. We shouldn't go because something's going to happen. I kept showing him what was going to come up. Now, Ron would believe me. I mean, he is a really good guy. But he said to me, he asked me a question was, is anything going to happen to me? He's almost talking about himself. And I said, well, no, not really. But you need to be up high to make sure that you're protected, well taken care of. So basically, what Ron had done was he decided to take his daughter with him instead, and he still went. He still went to Japan. The day he left there, and then 3 days after, they had a tsunami. Okay. But Japan's never had one like that. But the thing is, what happened was a plant blew up at the same time when there was a tsunami. And so things crossed over. So it wasn't just a flooding, but there's also a plant that released radiation, toxic radiation, and killed over 1.5 million people. Okay. A lot of lives were lost there. I'm not saying it because radiation killed them all, but between the flooding combination of so many things, people lost their lives. Now, Japan did not want to tell the truth, and they only said, oh, maybe 150,000 people had passed away. They did not want to be shamed. But there's friends of mine that live in Japan said there's over 1.5 million people had passed away. So, again, I know there's a lot of people that rather not feel, they don't want to be shamed or feel shamed. And it's not, it's not their fault because a tsunami shows up. Everybody goes through some sort of a combination of something. We're all going to have some sort of earthquake happen to us one day. I mean, we did have an earth tremor here back in around 2000. And here in BC, we had one of the small earth tremors when Vancouver Island had a small earth tremor, and it affected us over here. In the central area of White Rock and Surrey, it did happen. There was a follow-up earth tremor. But, like I said before, those are some of the things that most people might not expect. We are still being human. We are trying our darndest to make sure what we're able to, fulfill as far as dreams are concerned, right? And we're trying our best to help others to prepare. So whenever I make a prediction, it's never the end of the world. My work, so when I predict something or I tell somebody something, I'm here for a reason to show you what we can do for each other, right? There's a lot of even I love working with lots of other readers, other psychics, because I like to team up with them once in a while and just come in there and do our work, right? And that's what I do. I've always have been doing this most of my years. I've teamed up with people on platform, on a stage, and I'm always looking forward to doing that with many other people. Still do, and I always will be. This is this is part of my life, right? I'm not just an entertainer. I entertain. So Nikki says February 28th had a 6.8 Seattle here. I think the year was 2002 or 2003. Yeah, in Seattle they did, and that's probably where it may have affected us. That was 2000. That was probably where we had the earth tremor here, because if it happened in Seattle, then it happened to us. We probably got the ill effects of it. Now, mind you, some people were actually digging into the earth to look for oil, and they always like to do those drillings. And if you do a lot of extra amount of drillings, you can get earth tremors, and it can affect you as well. So that's what people do. So not everything is predicted the way you expect it to be. Not everything's natural. Sometimes it's unnatural. And you need to remember too, folks, we may have had a lot of tunnels, underground tunnels being built or drilled, and earth tremoring can actually affect all of us as well. It probably, whatever the gene line, they call the gene lines, or there are certain areas where the path, like it's almost like a route. And when the path starts being vibrated too much in some of the areas, it affects other areas and locations. So if they're drilling in Seattle, for example, somewhere in the ground and digging underground tunnels, it's like a little vein. It'll vibrate over here, head over here, and it can cause the tremors. So it's not everything is natural earthquakes. We're not supposed to have always natural earthquakes. We're supposed, like if you look at California, for example, California was always in earthquaking. Yeah, thank you, Ernie. Fracking. And so why is California in so many earthquakes? It's because there was so much underground tunnels being drilled under California. I'm not kidding you. Underground tunnels and underground cities being built under California. That's why there were so many floodings and so many earthquakes and earth tremors and especially even including San Francisco, certain areas, and then people made an ongoing joke. Now, so you know what I mean? Like this is exactly what's going on. We're thinking that everything is natural that causes the earthquake. It's not. It's what they do under the ground, and it affects people. But they're not going to tell you the truth that they're drilling under the ground for tunnels. Okay, they're not going to tell you that. All they're going to say, oh well, must have an earthquake. Okay, earthquake, and people just go along with it and go back to work. They're totally avoiding everything what they really want to know as far as truth is concerned. So now we're beginning to know why we have every country across the world have had their earthquakes, earth tremors. And, like say Brazil, Mexico, same way. Mexico's had. Now, here's one thing I want to say this too. A lot of your volcanic activities is also from underground drilling. Okay. Because your volcano is not always right to the very bottom where there's lava. People can still dig underground. We can go deep, 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 deep under the volcano, and that can cause a disruption for everything to come to the surface. So there have been many earthquakes that did spill. If you look at Mount St. Helens, okay, back in 1982, is it 82? Yeah, 82. I was in Lethbridge, Alberta when Mount St. Helens went off. Okay, I remember experiencing it. It was not too far from us, and when the ash was flying all over our vehicles, and it was landing on our cars, and that volcanic ash, especially if it sits on your vehicle for more than 3 or 4 days, it will start to burn the paint. There's something in it that actually causes the paint to burn. You don't want, so basically we're telling people back then, wash your car off quickly because you don't want any volcanic ash all over your vehicle because it will eat the paint, right? So I remember it was like people were trying to wear scarves. Masks weren't around back then. They're wearing scarves to cover their face because you didn't want to breathe in it was heavy, thick in the air, floating in the air, that ash. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. I would say Lethbridge was very gray for at least a week to 2 weeks until it started cleaning up. And then we had a rainstorm. Rain came down, washed it all away. But again, like I said, we may not realize what we go through, right? Yeah. So Ernie says, I was here in Surrey, then acid in the dust. Yeah. So, and some people actually, I think there was a certain part somewhere in the States, they would have acid rain. How come they had acid rain? Where did that come from? Who actually shot that in the sky? Who actually took the plane in the sky and started spraying that crap in the sky? There's no such thing as acid rain unless you are making it and spraying it in the sky. That's right. Yeah, there we go. Nikki says, wetting the scars down with water. I remember. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly. I remember that, man. I remember that because I lived in Lethbridge then. I was working in the post office. And that was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, Diane, that's actually chemtrails. So we've got so many things which causes the acid rain because they were making chemtrails that way. That's where they were trying to, I would say, reduce the populace of us. Okay. They're trying to remove, the lesser people of living. And that's exactly what their goal was. We were an experiment. Everyone in this world were considered as an experiment. We were all the guinea pigs walking on this earth, pretending that nothing ever happened, going, I don't know why I'm so sick. Nothing is actually by accident. Nothing is, you don't get a cold or a flu from everybody. You're getting that from the sky. Now, and where did all this come from? Is what they put into the freaking planes and what they shoot across the sky. And then whoever inhales it the most, whoever has the weakest immune system are the ones that actually get very, very sick. So, and now they got the new one out there. It's called the Japanese flu. And that takes apparently they say it takes between 28 days to 3 months to recover. And the side effects is, you may think you're over it, but you're still coughing. You're dry coughing like crazy. And there is actually something to fix it with. Okay. And that is by having to, if you understand what oil of oregano is, you take the 3 drops, you put that on your tongue, and you drink it with water, and you do that 5 times a day. And that'll help you breathe better, right? And then it'll cleans up the liver. And it's natural. It comes from the earth. I know very well what's going to happen. As soon as I talk about this sort of thing, anything to do with helping people, YouTube's going to say, you can't say that. No, we're going to take out your video. You're gone. Done. Then they remove it. I don't care. That's why I'm recording twice. So whatever they try to take one away, I got the other, and then I put it on my other pages. So then it's never lost. Okay. So you're good. You always got to find some means and ways. Now I will give you guys a big heads up right now. Okay. If by some chance, if we do go into lockdown, if we do lose our internet, and if we do lose our power for that 2 weeks, don't be scared. Don't worry. Right. I would say, like I said before, if there's any which way that people can communicate with each other, do it. Okay, that's why we have Telegram. Telegram is one of the best pages on site that they can't come after us there. And most people, I recommend it. Please, please, please download the app and join it. Look for people like me and like-minded people. If you're not on it, do it. Telegram is very, very important because it's protected by a special group of people, and get on there. It's going to save your butt. Okay, because most of these social networks are not going to be here by next year unless they get cleaned up or they get taken over by military and they're going to in control of it. Then it's going to happen. But right now, anytime I do any kind of story about anything now on Facebook, I'm being judged by independent fact checkers, and most of them they're financially paid to go after people like us because we're truthers. Okay. I've already been told by Facebook, they said, oh, your profile has some issues. And when you go there, they remove a whole bunch of pictures and videos. So if you think there's a mistake on my part, that I tried to send something to you that is dead, that if you got no picture or anything, it's actually Facebook blocking it, because our Canadian government does not want you to see the truth that's going on in Canada or in the US or across the world. So what I do now, folks, if you're watching a news reel, get yourself a second recorder, a used one, buy one just as a second recorder. Okay. And you take this over your phone. So if you are watching something that you see and you're only able to see it once, record it off of this one. Now you got this as a secondary. You kept this and you can transfer this to whichever. Keep as a keepsake. Okay. If you can't keep it if you can't right click and save the video in your computer, and then if you don't want somebody to say hack your computer, buy yourself one of these boxes and you're saving all these. You disconnect it from the computer after you're done so they can't access it. You got the history in there. Okay. This is exactly what we all have to do. Everyone now has to protect themselves and keep your history, because if you don't, they're going to try to come in somehow and wipe it out. And they'll say, oh, I don't know why I got this black square right behind my box in my file. Why is it there? Because they're trying to access to what you got, and they try to erase it or even take it. Okay. So people like us, we have to be one step ahead. Now, I can say to you all right now, okay, why are you saying this now? Why didn't you say this a year ago? Or maybe they're watching us right now and they'll say, okay, now maybe we can't do. Yes, you can do whatever you want. Like I said before, there's an access box here. Okay. And I actually plug it into my computer. And once I put the file in there, I unplug it. I kept as, so basically this is actually for emergency purposes, but I use it for anything and everything. If I want to keep files, that's what you want. Okay. So yes, there you go. Nikki says, keep your items away from the computer and put in a Faraday box. Okay, any which way, but this is what I've got. I have an extra a spare unit here. I'll hook it up. Has I've got enough like 4 or 5 terabyte in it, and there's lots there. Okay, and I've got lots of videos in there, lots of pictures, lots of stuff, and then I'm all filed off. That's my files. So they can try to hack it all they want. See, once this is saved in here, anything that's saved in here, I just connect it. And then when I need to go get something, I'll plug it back in, and I'll download it, keep it safe, pop it in there, unplug it. That's what you do. Now, even though we do have some spares, many of us may not realize that we just have to be one step ahead. It's in one way, it's like you have to keep the history. It's important. And there's so many things that I've been saving through my research, and I love people sending me stuff. I love people sending me different kinds of stories, historical stuff that maybe I don't know, and sometimes we need to know. When they talk about Tartarian time period, you need to know about the Tartarian time period. It's absolutely not important because it relates to what happened before that certain time. How come there's photographs of all these big cities and there's nobody on the streets? Okay, who put them asleep? Who's controlling it? Who put them asleep? Because they were all asleep while the streets are empty. I'm not talking about nighttime. I'm talking about daytime. And they were asleep for a long, long time until the city itself either was dismantled and replaced with some other new buildings. Okay. Or, like I said before, so many things have happened to ourselves, our history in the past that has been corruptly changed or displaced. So now people are doing their due diligence of the research and trying to find out the truth. So there's so many things out there that you're only taught by the mainstream media, okay, and or your schools you go to. You're only being educated, and just call it dumbed down school. Okay, you're educated under dumbed down school because your dumbed down school means 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4. Okay, that's all they're going to teach you. They're going to teach you dumbed down school because all they want you to know is you're going to be the laborer. We want you to be a laborer. We don't want you to know what's happening back over here. Okay, so they're going to keep you busy while they're doing something over here, dismantling a certain part of a city or certain buildings. Why are these buildings coming down? Why are they so infatuated to take down these beautiful structured cities or structured buildings, been there for many, 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 many years? That's what they're trying to do. Thank you, Tom. Yes, they're hiding real history. So, and why all of a sudden they want to knock down these older buildings? Nothing wrong with the buildings. They're heated. They're not leaking. They want to take down these old buildings and put these big, huge high rises. For what? These high rises they build are not as good as the ones that are made of stone. They're trying to destroy our history. That's why people call it, they say it's his story. Well, they're trying to destruct your history. That's why we have the Mandela effect. So many things got changed. And yet from my childhood, things that I remember that I had seen, experienced, people are saying to me, oh, it never happened. Yes, it did. I was a kid. I remember certain things that happened. They're going to say to you, oh, it's just your imagination. No, it's not my imagination. I knew exactly what I experienced. I knew exactly what I saw. Okay. I'll give an example. Walt Disney. Let's bring Walt Disney up. Now, Tinker, the little fairy, she actually had a magic wand. Okay. And she would actually, in the film, I remember the introduction at the beginning of the credits, she would fly up to the name of Disney and she would take her little wand and she would hit the letter I and it would go ching. Okay. Now, the new one does not do that. She never carried a wand. She just stood there next to the letters and then flew away. Why did they change it? That's Mandela effect. Why did they change the Mandela? Because they shifted time while you were asleep. Okay. A time shift. You basically went through a time shift. So you're not going crazy. They made that decision to shift it. Why are they changing it? Why did they take the tail off George the monkey? Okay, why did they take the long tail off of him? Oh, he never had a long tail. Yes, he did. I remember that. I remember seeing Monopoly when I was a kid back in the 60s. Monopoly, the guy who played the character had a monocle. And yet the new Monopoly has no monocle. Why? They didn't take him off. They said it never existed. You know? Okay. So Nikki says here, let's have a look real quickly. Nikki says here, hardcore. In the US, I hear from parents who are shocked to learn their kids' school history books have so much of our major history not put into those public schools history books. It's appalling what is being done. And what they're also doing too, Nikki, is actually they're removing historical books out of the libraries in schools. They don't want you to know the past anymore. They're removing it, saying that it's not good for the children. They said it's going to ruin their minds. So basically what they're doing, they're disrupting all of that, and they're trying to bring in this other garbage that has nothing to do with education. Okay, think about it. They're educating another version of corruption. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're corrupting the child's mind, not to educate. So that's why I tell the parents, don't take your children to schools. Teach them at home. They're gonna have a better. They'll be better off doing this, being smarter. I'm glad my mother took me out of school halfway through grade 11. Okay, I mean, I was upset the fact she took me out because I want to be the first in my family to graduate and get a grade 12. Because if you look at every job that you go to, everybody who actually was a business in business had said, do you have a grade 12 education? And if you said no, then they don't want to hire you. Why would you need a grade 12 education to be a laborer? Okay, if you want to dig ditches, oh, you have to have a grade 12 education. Why? Well, because you're going to dig dirt. Doesn't make any sense. Or if you're going to be working for some company, for example, I worked in the post office. I got a job working in the post office, and they said I had to have a grade 12 education. For what? Sorting a letter? Reading? I knew how to read very well because I self-taught at home. I learned by reading comic books. I used to read out loud to my mother. I could not read very well when I was in school because they weren't teaching you the proper way of reading. And they would put you in the back of the room, back of the room where the desks are. And if you weren't able to read very well, then you're back there and left alone, like you didn't have nobody to talk to, and they keep you there. So basically, they call you the dunce. You're left out. So that's the reason they kept on saying, "Oh, he's a slow learner." I thought there was something wrong with me. And I realized that the one really cool teacher said to me, I'll never forget her name, Mrs. Tickett. I'll never forget her last name. And she told my mother, she said, Derrick needs to read things out loud. He's not a slow learner. He just can't get things figured out. So I'm called dyslexic. But if he learns to read out loud, he'll remember. And she was right because something happened to her brother when she was young. Her brother used to read out loud, and he would remember many things. So my mother took me out of school for a little bit, or not, sorry, don't take it to school. She would buy me some comics. Now, back in the 60s, comics were very common on the shelf. And she said, does your son like comics? She says, oh yeah, he likes to read comics. She says, get him to read out loud to you. And that gets him to learn how to spell, learn how to learn words and to speak well. So basically, I learned so much about comics, or not just reading, but I became a writer. I was reading. I was able to, that's why I do a lot of narrations for people. I read a book and I can read out loud or even read to myself, but I understand the words more. I learned at home. And when I went back to school to take the test, certain things regarding vocabulary, I understood what the words meant. And at my grade of age, I should not have known those certain words in vocabulary. Because according to them, as a child, you're not supposed to know that word. Why? Okay. So the thing is, there's children today. I remember watching this one little girl. This little girl's 5 years old and she's studying. Her mom did not get her to do it. She wants to study to be a doctor. So what does she do? She said, Mom, I want to read a medical book. So her daughter is reading medical books. Her daughter knows more about medical history and medical techniques than a regular doctor. Now, why are these children all of a sudden coming out to wanting to do this? These kids are the true connection from the other side. These are the crystal children. These are the light being children. These are the next generation that's going to be well ahead of themselves, well ahead of us, right? So the thing is that we would understand or understand how things are in our lives, and we've all gone through that. Every one of us has, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell people. If you want to educate a child, teach them at home, because they're not going to get the education like you do. And yet some teachers will say, or some people in school, teachers in school will say, well, they're not going to get the education at home like we would do with them. Yes, you will. You can teach your child more. Your child is, and here's what really bothered, here's something that really bothered me when I was a kid growing up. Why are we graded at levels? Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6. Why are we graded? It's almost like saying, well, grade A, grade B, grade C, like an egg. That's exactly what they were doing to us kids growing up. They're grading us. They're telling us what they want us to be. Okay. Oh, well, if you're grade A, then you're like an egg. Well, it makes you the best top egg in the room. And I really don't like it where teachers say, well, we're all winners. And then if, say, for kids are having a competition, and whether it's athletics or any kind of competition regarding anything in school, whether it's reading, writing, arithmetic, the teacher used to hand out stars to the kids. Whoever is good at what they do. Good. It encourages the kid to try. But when a teacher says, oh, no, you're all winners and they all get stars, that doesn't get you nothing. Because that child, maybe the one that's behind, doesn't care whether they got their stars. And if they do got the stars, like, hey, I got stars. Whoop-de-doo. We are looking for kids that are educated, want to be educated, want to learn. Find something for them that they want, that their interests are. When a teacher tells you in school, you have 5 or 6 occupations to make a goal for before you leave school. They'll bring it to you when you're grade 6, grade 7, grade 8. And you'll say, okay, it's grade 8. And they'll say, okay, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a teacher? You want to be a doctor? You want to be a lawyer? You want to be a fireman? Do you want to be a police officer? They're giving you 5 different decisions. I said, well, neither of them. Well, then you're not going to make it in this world. You'll be one of the kids that'll be always in trouble going to jail. You probably end up going to jail sometime. You'll be a bad kid. How do you know? Maybe I want to be a farm kid. Maybe I want to do something else. I'm not ready for that yet. I haven't made my decision. And they make you to try to become who they want you to be. And then they tell the parent, oh, you want your son and daughter to be a doctor. Okay. This is what they are telling you what they want to be. And yet I've met children that didn't want to be doctors. And yet their parents saying, well, you're going to discourage us in the family if you don't become a doctor. So they make the kid feel guilty. Like if a child has interest in, say, working with animals, maybe they want to be a vet, or maybe they want to assist to be a vet. Other alternative healers in the animal in the animal world. Okay, not just vets. There's always something out there that children, as become young adults, they're going to have interest in. Okay, they will always have interest in something. We just have to be very patient for what they choose. I never really did know what I wanted, but I did educate myself and learned how to understand the post office. I mean, when I worked at the post office, I got married into the post office. Now I would say married into because my first wife I married, her father was his own postmaster. Now, did I want that job? No. My job, I wanted to do something else because I worked in the oil fields, and I was working in the tinsmithing industry. But my first wife wanted me not to do that, work as a laborer in the tin field and do insulation. She wanted me to be a postie like her dad. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll try that out. But I didn't know what a postal clerk does. I didn't have no idea. She says, well, it sorts mail. Whoop-de-doo. But I tried it, right? Now, sure, I did everything I could to try to become a postie, learned how to sort mail, did all what I had learned. I mean, I educated myself big time learning, and I had learned the books on it. Then she wanted me to become a supervisor, learn to become a supervisor. See, so basically the steps are to earn your income. Well, the thing is that was not my dream. That was their dream. That was her dream. That was what she wanted me to do. That's what her dad wanted me to do. But it's not my dream. I said, no, I can't. I'm leaving. And they didn't like it. I want to do something else, right? So Nick, it goes, going on a simple walk with your child is a homeschool lesson. So many things can be taught. I used to homeschool my son for a number of years. He learned more on our walks. Yes. There you go. Daily life of walks. And he was excited about that he would repeat info he learned to others, including construction houses being built in the neighborhood. Exactly. See, and that because the child wants to show interest for themselves. When you are showing, and even if you go walk out in nature. Now, here's an important part. I used to take kids out with me. Survival skill. My kid did not know they're going for survival skill. They're going to go for a walk and enjoy nature. I would point out to them about certain plants that's in your forest. Say, for example, your pine needles, your pine trees, your spruce trees, your cedar trees and other trees, and you can see and I said, where's north? And the children have no idea. They're just randomly going, I don't know. Where's north? It's on your tree. Your tree shows you where north is, right? I taught them a survival skill, what to learn. Because my father taught me when I was 10, a survival skill. My father was a tracker before he went back into farming. My father was really good at it. And I learned from him. The thing is that it's always good to have all this in your background. It helps a lot, but you learn how to survive, but you also are well educated, right? You learn from other people. It's always good to learn many jobs, many careers, and you may not be with it forever. You may want to learn maybe the first 6 months and that's it. I'm going to move on, find something else. Then do it, right? Same with anything to do with alternative health. You may wanting to say learn about hands-on healing or learn about alternative, like for example, Reiki. People want to get into Reiki and they'll take their first, second, and third course. Okay, and they get their master's. Great. Now, are you just going to stay in the master's or you want to go something else? You have a choice. You can get into any field and add on to your skills. So it doesn't always have to be one thing. That's why on my list up here, these are all the things that I've actually done all my life. I learned all these things through the years. I've become who I am. And I'm very proud of that. But that's 67 years of it. From birth until who I am today. And many of you are going to be able to do the same thing. So you pick up a rock from the ground. It could be just a common rock, but it has a story to it. If you look at it carefully, why is that rock there? Why was the rock placed there? Who placed that rock there? Did that rock move? Did someone put it there? Or was that rock there all its life, all its form of life? Because rocks do have feelings. Okay? There's always the reason why certain things are there, because maybe we have a forest that was placed or that was already there, but maybe some society decided to move a few things inside that forest, but things were already planted in there and recreated itself and actually created a new beginning of life. So there's so many things that we may not realize it's already there waiting for us to explore. And that's why we have to not worry of not surviving. Okay, this whole story is about. This reason why we always not worry about survival. Now, what I do recommend down the road, okay, and I would say the beginning of this year, when spring comes around, guys, learn how to garden. If you don't know how to garden, start gardening. You need to. It's important. Okay, learn about your plants. And if you're worried about not knowing how to plant a seed, learn, go online, find out from someone you know. Even if you got a grandparent or somebody who's been doing fruits and vegetables and growing flowers, everything has a purpose of life source that will help you survive. Okay, Everything living around you has a life source, as always. Okay. The blood of Jesus Christ saves sinners. Okay. You call me a sinner? Because I've seen Jesus when I was a kid growing up. Met him twice. Thank you, Steve. So, and I tell people, in Jesus' name, I am here to work with you. And the thing is that we're all here for a reason. Every one of us is. Okay? Every one of us has a purpose in this earth. We're all brought here for a reason, to work together. Okay. Let's see what Diane Keith. Okay, let's see here. Diane says, I asked that on talk radio, why are you destroying our historic buildings? Yeah. My son is having trouble believing in the Epstein Island that. Okay, list. It's coming out now. You'll all start seeing it, folks. Okay, well, let's go somewhere else. You can't work at anything beyond your smartest parent. You know what? Kids, yeah, kids are amazing. Children are amazing, you know. So we all have a purpose. We all have a reason to be here. I'll share a story with you guys if you don't know. When I was 8 years old, Jesus came to me in my backyard at home, and when I lived in Manitoba, and came to visit me and talk to me. And I sat down talking to Jesus. I thought I was talking to him, and somebody came out in the backyard after, and they said, "Who are you talking to?" I knew it was him, but he wanted to see how I was doing, right? And I was having a great conversation. I don't remember everything, but I remember seeing him. And he says, "I'll come and see you again sometime." And then when I was 16, I was on the farm then, and when I was working in the gardening. I was home. I never forget the day I was hoeing potatoes. That was the journey itself when you start doing potatoes. And I was hilling potatoes. And there was a beam of light came across me. I looked up the sky, and it was beautiful beam. And the sun's over there. The beam of light's over here. And people say, "Oh, maybe there's a reflection." No, it was a beam of light. And then I could see an appearance of a shadow of a person coming forward through that beam of light. And then I spoke to him in the garden. You know, like, each and every one of us gets a visit, whether it's in the presence or in our dream or in a book. So whichever how we see him, hear him, know him, he's always there with us. Okay. And if you discovered him, good for you. If you are not sure about that, and some people say, "Well, how do you know he really existed?" There are so many proven documentaries that prove that he actually did exist. And sure, there's so many stories that he actually has studied under the Essenes. Well, the Essenes were healers. Okay, they were sent there for a reason to help him understand or understand his healing capabilities. Okay, this man traveled to Egypt. He's been to many parts of the world. He even landed in Nova Scotia. Okay, he came here to Canada, and Canada was not Canada back then, folks. He came by boat. He landed many lands across the land. In fact, there's a lot of First Nations people that said they saw this long blonde-haired man show up, dressed differently, and they saw him. Okay, and they talked to him. And then he just walked away and went to the next step. So this man has traveled for many, many, many thousands and thousands of miles, but yet he believed himself. Like, I tell people this, and it's I joke about it, but it's true. Jesus was a couch surfer, so he was welcomed by everyone, and then there was always a place for him to stay. No one ever said you can't come in. He always loved. Yes, he always was part of the mystery school. So, and he always will be until, like I tell people, he's visited many people. Like, I've had people say to me, "I can hardly wait for the second coming of Christ." He already is here. He has always been here, but he comes to visits individuals. You know, our second coming is here and here. It always was here. It's not always by physical appearance or saying that the whole world has to see him. That day will come. But, right now we have to start believing in ourselves more. I started believing the fact that we are well taken care of, but we still have to make an effort. You have to make an effort to say, I can do this, and make an effort. You know, a lot of people really don't know what a sinner is, and I'm not going to use it and use it in a negative way. When you use the word sinner, you can make it where it's such a derogatory, nasty word in a way that you're a really bad person. You could be the nicest person in the world, does so many good things for people, and then someone that says to you, oh, you're nothing but a sinner because you made a mistake on something. No, everyone's entitled to make mistakes. That's why we have free will. God gave us that willing of life called free will. He gave us free will. Okay. But he also said you don't take advantage of your free will. That means that if you do more harm to others, then you go like, hey, what are you doing? This is what he doesn't like. Okay. But he will not interfere until he will let you know once you pass away, you come back into this world, in the spirit world, and he's going to say to you, what have you learned in this life? He didn't say you were wronged or you wronged yourself. He said, what have you learned in this life? Because you are to judge yourself. It's not him judging you. You are there to judge yourself. You will find out. You will see your life experiences you've all done to people, whether it's wrong or right. You get to see it and you will experience it. You will actually feel it, and you would hit you so hard for what you've done to others, whether it was bad or good, and it would all actually envelop you. Okay. And then you make that decision. Oh, what have you learned this life? I learned, and I will never do this again. Like anything in the bad or harm people, or maybe something I shouldn't have done, or you see, or broke someone's heart, and yet sometimes you can break a heart once in a while if you're not really ready to be with this person. Great, that's fine. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but just saying. But you learn to move ahead. Everyone is allowed to make mistakes. They're called learning lessons. Okay? We're not perfect, because if we were perfect, we wouldn't be on this earth right now. None of us. Why would you waste your time if you're absolutely perfect? You'd be walking around like you're the God, or a God, or act like a God. And that's not what it's about. Our job is to learn lessons, because we are here to help each other, or to work together with each other. We're community. Okay? No matter what race, color, or creed, we're here to help each other out. But you always have someone who's going to try to stop you at the crossroads. You know why they call it crossroad? Cross road. Stop you at the cross road. And they're going to try to interfere. So what your job is to do is to say, okay, I have to make some decisions here, whether I agree or disagree, or should I follow this person or actually keep on going what I'm doing? Again, that's what they call it, the crossroad. Crossroad doesn't mean cross as in cross. The cross road, your road where you will be. That's what I've learned. I learned it from him. So many of us have journeys to take. Many of us have journeys to take on. So, I have been trying so hard not so hard. I tried to share things as simplistic as possible, not make it complicated. We don't have to go out and hurt each other. Whatever we don't believe or disbelieve doesn't mean that you have to hate someone. If that person doesn't want to believe in certain things, even the work that I do, if you don't want to believe in what I do, fine. You don't have to talk to me. You can say, well, I want to talk to Derrick, but I don't want to talk to Derrick about this. I want to talk to Derrick about something else. Great. I can be Derrick. And if you want to talk about Derrick, who's a psychic, that's a different category. Doesn't mean you have to hate me or dislike me, because I have knowledge of other things besides just what I'm doing now. I don't always stay in the same category on my journeys every day. I do different things. So each and every one of you has the same journey. We all have something different we talk about. Doesn't mean that someone doesn't agree or disagree or like or dislike, right? So again, there's always going to be someone that's going to try to come in the chat room and say, oh, da, 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 da. And they're going to come in there, and they'll say their thing, and then they disappear. I don't mind. Gives you guys a little bit of a wake up call. Okay. Yeah, I made a few less and should have made it right. Good for you, Tom. Okay. Anyways, we're gonna have open lines, guys. If you guys want to get a reading, anybody wants to ask a question, I'm not gonna answer questions regarding your writings. If you guys can actually phone in, but I'd love to hear you guys phoning in. I'd like to hear your voice and chat with you. 360-566-2875. That's the 360-566-2875. That's my number. That's what I am. If you want to call in and ask a question regarding certain things anybody want see we can try to do for you. Let's see, the 3. That's the number there. And I'll put it back in this chat room in here. 3. Got it. Call in. You're more welcome to call in, ask questions. If you actually have any questions regarding what we talked about this evening, I'd love to hear from you guys on it. Don't worry about what we had spoken about early. Like I said before, we're all going through a theatrical storybook. And that's what this whole future thing has been going on. I mean, we all go through stuff. Every one of us does. We always have been, always will be. And we just have to stay above ourselves. You know, stay above yourself. Try not to get caught up in it. Area code 905. Hello.
Good evening, Derrick.
How's it going?
Ups and downs.
Ups and downs. Who am I speaking to?
Thomas Bell.
Hey, Thomas. So, what's the weather like in your? What's the weather like in your side of the world?
Well, right here it's no snow, pretty warm. Not really much going on.
Yeah.
No snow shoveling. I don't miss the shovel. I haven't had to start up the snowblower, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and actually, this is the first year that Ontario has. You're up in Ontario, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the first year that Ontario had never gotten any snow at this time of year.
Well, I have to tell you, I lied. I had to break out the shovel once to scrape off 1.5 inches of snow.
Oh well, that's so deep. that's your BC snow, because we only get 1.5 inches of snow and then that's gone and washes away after the rain.
Yeah, my wife is out there. Not my wife. My daughter moved out there.
Up in BC.
Yeah.
What does she think of the? Where does she think of BC?
Well, I haven't really talked to her much. She's been really busy, so I haven't even spoke to her over the Christmas time. So that's that. But I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Anything you can tell me about my health or my future going forward?
Okay.
August 30th, 61.
I'm not worried about your birth, but I'm gonna look at here. Let's see here. Give me all his health, guys. How is his health? Okay, that shows me here. You know what? You greatly improved as far as your health is concerned. They're saying that you've actually are one step up regarding what you were feeling like last year, or even the year before. So you've excelled in taking care of yourself more.
Yeah, eating well.
Okay, that's what it is. You're doing better. They're saying here, and they're very happy to know that you actually have improved. They're saying your major inner focus saying they're telling me to say this to you, that you actually said these words, and I'm just being straight up. I'm not going to scare you, but you said, I don't want to die. And they actually said, well, we hear you. And they actually gave you a push or a nudge and said, you're not going to leave us. You got things to do.
Awesome.
Does that make sense?
And one more thing, if you could tell all my family and friends and all my puppies that I loved in my life, that I still miss them and I love them all.
Oh, you will. You can tell them yourself, because they're the ones that actually do hear you. The person that you do talk to, they show me here, is your mom. And Your dad is in the background. It's almost like showing me that he's you were still trying to get to know your dad at the time before then your dad passed away, didn't he?
Yeah.
You were not done in a conversation or done in an issue with your father before he passed away, and you felt regret that you could have or should have.
I didn't have much of a choice. I was very young.
Yeah. So try not to make that feel it's a guilt trip. It's not your trip to feel guilty about. That was your dad's preference, not yours. I know you gave your father warning, Dad, I still want you to stay here. I want you around. But whatever your father had done in his life is not your responsibility.
Yeah, I understand that totally.
Okay.
I think actually he's one of my guardian angels.
Big time, because what your dad's doing, like he's the one that your father is giving you the nudge, like saying like he's actually apologizing, saying he should have spent more time with you, but he's also very proud of you that you are taking care of yourself more because you've outlived him.
Yeah, true enough.
Because I'm seeing your dad leaving before, like the age you are now is your dad left you when he was younger than you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to say hello to you again. I miss you. I haven't been on your shows very often, but I think I'll start hanging around more often.
No problem. Appreciate you being on.
You're an awesome person, and God bless you.
Oh, God bless you too. Take care of yourself, Tom.
In the name of Jesus Christ.
You're welcome. Take care.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye, Derrick.
Bye. Okay. Wow, that's good. That's nice to hear that he's doing well. Okay. 360-566-2875. We are open lines here, guys. You're more welcome to phone in, ask a question. If you're wondering how I'm able to do it, I'm remote viewing the past in your family, and then the spirit shows me, these people in the spirit world will show me what they have shown me from their side. Area code 416.
Hi, is Derrick there?
That's me.
Hi, Derrick. This is Diane.
Hi, how are you? Oh, okay. Hi, Diane.
Yeah. I just wondered if you had anybody in spirit. Great talk tonight, mind you.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. Yeah.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. There's okay. What they're telling me here, that right now what you're going through, it's called a Malcolm in the middle. That you're still trying to figure out where you fit. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
And you already trying to figure out how come it's almost like feels like you are letting yourself take on other people's responsibilities, but you're also blaming yourself in some parts. You need to stop worrying about that.
Yeah, it's true.
Does that make sense? Like I know you show concern for people, but it's like the way they're showing me is that it's almost like you want to be there for them and you don't want to see them sad or upset, but sometimes these people have to go through their own stage of issues. And I know sometimes you can be a bit of, I'm not going to say smother, but you can be a motherly, but you're not related to them.
Yeah, that's true.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're not doing the wrong thing. You're doing right, but let them go through their phases. Okay.
Right.
And if they do need to talk to you, let them approach you. Unless you feel you need to say something, then be there for them.
Right. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Okay. Because you're right now at this moment, what I'm seeing you doing so much research in your abilities that you're showing confusion for yourself. Like you want to do this, but you want to do that, but you're not sure you want to do this, and you want to do something else. But like you focus on one thing and then you get tired of it real quick and then you go back to something else. You're bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
True. Yeah.
So,
it's hard to focus.
Yeah, but it's not a bad thing. But I would say if you're going to focus on one thing, they're saying to focus on that, Finish what you need to learn from it, and then go to the next step, because you're beginning to confuse yourself.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. Other than that, you're doing fine. Also, they're saying take care of your health more.
Right.
Okay. Absolutely important. Take care of your health more. Even when Tom called in, they're saying here, take care of your health more, as in need to take care of you.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Derrick.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Take care.
Good night. Thank you.
Night.
Yeah, you too.
Okay. Who's this? Tom Bell. Hello. Can I consider you for readings, love? Number one. That person's gone. Okay. Whenever I do a show, what these people are doing, folks, is that don't follow them. The ones are this one lady, this one person's called says psychics, mediums, and they interfere with other shows like mine. And they're not there to read you. They're there to take advantage of you. Okay. So they're going after everyone's name in the room. And they're going like, they're getting in the list, and they're trying to steal the list and have you follow them. The word psychics medium is not a true psychic. Those are the gypsies. They come in my chat room and they start to mess around. So I block them. They're done. So if you're going like, what the hell happened? Because they are fake. These ones here are they're the ones that will call you up and say, oh, there is a curse in your family. Bum, bum, bum. It's going to cost you thousands of dollars. And those are the ones you don't want to, because especially you can tell by the broken English. Okay. Anybody who understands, watch these people. I've actually dealt with people like them before. Whenever you guys are in a chat room, you see somebody else coming in and trying to say that they can do something for you, they have no right to come in my chat room and say they can give you a reading. Not at all. This is my chat room. This is my room, not theirs. If a psychic medium is asking me for a reading, that's fine. But they're asking me. They're not wanting to give me a reading. They're actually wanting to take you away from them, right? So, like Travis understands. Like Travis is a reader himself. Okay, he's a tarot reader, and he's a really good guy. I love Travis for what he does, but I've known Travis for many years. There's a difference, folks, because if you know that person, they're going to respect you for who they are. And he's also a writer, by the way. If you're ever interested, want to get some to see Travis's new book coming out, new release, you should give him a scream on our page. Travis Wheeler Mastusas. You can actually see. He actually is a writer as well. I love to support people for what they do. What I don't appreciate is that other people come in the chat room that are readers or pretend to be readers, and they try to take advantage of my room, and they'll try to pull people out of my room, and say, well, come to my place and I'll read you. Meantime, they're going to tell you the negativeness of everything. They'll never tell you anything that's positive. My job is to give you enlightenment and continuation of life. Okay. Basically, I don't tear down anyone's life. My job is to give you encouragement. If there's something there that you need to see, my job is to give you that up the hill. Right. So that's why I do this work. I've been doing it for 40 years. Okay. 40 years. It's a long time. And in the profession, I've been doing it for 30 years. And my job is to help you guys, to give you guys a little bit of a nudge, to push, to say, here's what you do. Here's what you need to see, because it's up to you to walk your path. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm here to show you what you can do. Okay. This is what readers are all about. when anybody who is a medium, anybody who is a psychic, here's the difference between psychic and medium. The word psychic, folks, the word psychic, the Greek word means soul seer or soul assistant. That means that we're there to help you. Now, in the Bible, they were saying that anybody who, like, and actually they wrote it in some of the new Bibles that are revised, it says beware of the psychic. Well, the number one, why do you need to be aware of a soul assistant or soul seer? Okay. Jesus was a soul seer, always was. He was actually there because he talked to God. Jesus spoke to God back and forth. We have the ability to talk to God back and forth. We have the ability to talk to Jesus. So Jesus was a medium. He was like, same thing. Corinthians 11-20, and Jesus said, with these gifts you shall do greater. He's giving his gifts to you. He's showing you what you can do. He's not taking it away from you. He's not saying that he's better than you. He's showing you you're just like me. The only thing is that he was there before us. His job was to say, he said to everyone, they said to God, forgive them, for they shall not know not what they have done. Forgive them. He gave his life for you. He gave his life blood for you to cleanse the world, so then we would understand and see the truth, because we were blinded by the control of mankind. Okay, so we open up our eyes. We have lit. Why do you think people say, when they always say, open your eyes to see the truth? Because people are like this. No, I don't want to see it. They're afraid. Because you were taught to be afraid. A parent or guardian, sometimes they'll say they always have a certain phobia, free fear. Oh, I don't want to see it. No, I don't want to see it. I'm too busy. Because they don't want to be confronted with the truth at times. So we always have a purpose in life. Okay? We always have a purpose. And so every one of us has a journey to take. Anybody in the chat room has a journey to take. Anybody who's listening and watching this whole program has a journey to take. Every one of us. And I've worked with many. I met a young lady today who I have not seen since she is 13 years old. And now she's in her 30s. And she's actually a mom now. Like, she said that she admired me for my work when I was actually doing, like, I was actually a spiritualist medium, but it was also, I was like a spiritualist. I was actually a minister. Still am a minister of our church. And her grandmother was a very close friends. We were close friends, and she told me she wanted. In fact, here's the crazy part. I went to the store, I was going shopping, and she said she sat in the car and she looked to her right and she thought, I know that guy. That's Derrick. So she went out of her way. And she got out of her car and she made an excuse to walk into the store, go shopping, but she went looking for me. Why? Because she wanted to say hello, but also she wanted to let me know that her grandmother passed away 5 years ago. And then she showed me a photograph. Her grandmother says, yeah, I knew her. We were really good friends. But she wanted to show me. She wanted to let me know that she's passed away, because I have said to many people, these last 3 to 4 years, I'm not talking about COVID before that. I'm talking before, say, a year before this happened. I have lost so many friends in the psychic mediumship field because they've aged out. You know, some of them are in their 70s and 80s, they're done. They're finished. They just decided to go home and they passed away. I'm the last of those groups of people. I was all close friends with everybody. I mean, many of them that I knew very closely because I worked with them for many, many years. So there's always a generation that has to keep on going. So as often as I teach and share my wisdom with you, you're going to take that with you, and you'll be taking that same wisdom to become the new elders in training. Because you'll take that with you, and you would share that with everybody across the world. It doesn't mean I'm leaving you guys. I'm not. I had a full life to fill yet. I'm 67. Does not mean I'm 97. I never know. I may live longer than that. Okay. It's up to me to make the decision if I'm going to live longer or not. We all have to be here to help the next generation. I chose to be here to live longer because Jesus came, like I told you before, Jesus came to see me when I was 16, and he said to me, these are his words, Derrick, you don't have to stay here anymore. You can come home now. You've already fulfilled your journey, what you had to get done. And my words back to him was, I don't want to leave. I wasn't scared. All I said, I don't want to leave. I want to see more and experience more. But I also said, I want to see the future, the space age. Okay. This is early 1970, 1971. I wanted to see the space age. And he said, these are his final words. He said, go in peace. And I somehow, when he said those words, it was like the overwhelming voice, go in peace. And I fell to my knees. And I looked down and I looked up and his hand went on my forehead. And he held like as if you can feel the overwhelming energy, loving energy from him. And he said, bless thee, thy child, for you shall do great things. He said, I'll call up, and these are his words, I'll call upon thee when these needed. And then many years later, I had no idea. It left me for a while. And then when I turned 30, then a man walked into a store following me, and he said to me, he said, are you Derrick? And I said, yes. And I wasn't doing psychic stuff back then. I was just I was a person, actually had my own business. I was making furniture. I was a carpenter by trade, like Jesus. And he came up to me and he says, my directors had told me to come to find you. They said, it's time. I said, who are your directors? And he looked up and he said, them. It's time. They need you now. So he said, my job here is to train you for 6 months. And once I'm done working with you, then you're on your own. And I worked with him for 6 months and they disappeared. He was gone. That's exactly what happens. Each of us has a journey. We are here to do the work to help others make it in this world. I'm not your mother. I'm not your father. I'm here to show you what you can do to take the next step. Area code 604.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. There's a delay from you on the screen to the phone.
Okay, well, you can turn the volume down on the screen so you can listen to me.
Yeah, I will. Hi, Derrick. It's Linda Studley.
Hi, Linda. Long time no hear.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good.
Oh, that's good. Okay, well, I've got a question.
Yes, my dear.
In April, I had a stent put in, and in the last few days, I've just found out that I have to deal with some more serious issues. I just want to make sure it's going to be okay because I'm not ready to leave yet. It's just getting interesting.
Yeah. Should she do? Okay. Now, this is all related to your heart, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's an aorta, and it's down by the digestive system.
Okay. What I can do, if you can call me after the show, let's see here. Yeah, text me your phone number, and I will tell you what you need to do. Okay.
Well, what number do I have? Because I've gotten a new phone since I had your number in it.
Okay. Here's my number to you. It's 604.
Yeah.
818.
Yeah.
8375.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm giving you positive. Yeah. I'll give you positive feedback, but I'm saying that you're going to be here for a long time. You're not done yet.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, because I'm not getting.
As I say, it's just getting interesting. So is this going to be the year where everything goes public and
big, more than you think?
We start rebuilding.
Yep, more than you think.
Oh, fabulous!
Like I tell people, I think it's going to be one of the biggest wake up calls, and it's like some people say they call it celebration of life. It's actually called a celebration of light. And it's huge. Absolutely huge. I mean, when Spirit shows me stuff, like let's put it this way. I remember having a vision, and they showed me this. They said that there'll be a time when they turn on the switch, like a switch, and all the clones fall face down.
Oh.
They don't move, and then society wakes up.
Yeah. Well, I know you, like me, which we've shared, you know, we've been aware of this for years and years and years, and I don't want to leave this movie just when it's getting good.
No, and I've known you for many years.
Yeah. I think I've got more to do, but that'll be for a private reading. Gary and I'll come because we want to know what we're supposed to do in the future.
Definitely. You got things to do, my dear. You're going to go far. You guys aren't done yet.
Oh, good. I want to be around for that little grandchild.
Oh, more than one.
Oh, yahoo!
I'm being shown 3, so that's gonna, wow. I'm doing. I'm look at this.
Got 2.
I'm not doing nothing.
That means David's gonna have what he's gonna get married yet. My one son just got married this year in September.
You see this? See this pendulum? It's swinging hard for you. That shows I'm not moving it, am I? I didn't swing it hard. I didn't do nothing.
Wow.
It's doing its thing, and it's telling me that you're going to be here for a long time. You're going to have 3 grandkids. So yes, it shows me excitement. So I'm not doing nothing. I don't make an effort to do anything because I use this pendulum to help find missing people, by the way. So
yeah,
I trust what I do, and I talk to spirit through this a lot if necessary. If I go, like if I'm not doing automatic writing, I use this and I get my answers. I don't have to move my hand. They do the work. Here's what I say to them. Thank you. See?
Oh, wonderful.
It stopped. When I say thank you, it completely quits.
Both Gary and I can personally attest to you that you are eerily accurate.
Yeah, like I said, I've known these guys for a long time, since 2005.
Yeah.
That's how far back we go.
Time.
Yeah. So that's what that's why it gets me in trouble.
Oh, and my best to Marina.
Yes, thank you. We'll chat.
She's always in my heart. I've been pulling for her.
Oh, you know what? She's tough nails. Like I talked about her today to a lady friend of ours. It was amazing what my wife went through, because when she had her, like they said that she's got leukemia, blood leukemia. Now, more normally people don't make it past the first year with leukemia, because normally you have to have blood donors, and hers is in her bone. It was in her blood and her bones. But for the first year, we did traditional medicine, which gave her what she needed. But they also said she had to have a blood transfusion. And the cool part was, or the crazy part was, that we had to take her to the one hospital in White Rock, Peace Arch. It's kind of cool, and they call it Peace Arch. And we took her to this hospital. We didn't take her to Sir Memorial. We didn't talk to her, but Peace Arch. And Peace Arch took her in like real quick, no pressure. This is during the COVID times. No pressure whatsoever. This is 2022. Brought her in real quick. And the doctor said, his name is Dr. Angelus. It actually means Dr. Angel. And he said to me, he took me aside and he says, we're going to have to order the blood from Mexico. And he said, wow, there's special blood there made. He said, it's they make it there because my wife's blood is it's rare. 3% of the people that have this blood type is only 3% in the world is rare. So he contacted the people that make these special made blood. Now, normally this blood does not arrive for at least almost a week. It was there in the building within less than 18 hours. From Mexico, they flew it all. They did the blood there, and they flew it all the way over to the Vancouver General. They mixed part of it there. Then the rest of it got flown over to, real quick, boom, over to Sir Memorial, and then over to Peace Arch. She had 12 bags of blood put into her. She had the first 8 put in. And she basically had a refreshing of brand new blood. And it was, they call like O negative. Now, when she photographed herself off her phone, the first bag of blood came through her, she was so bright that her eyes, like when she was ill, she was all yellow skin, like her skin, she was that bad. And she was so close, like the guy said, she was that close to leaving the world that night. And that's how quick they brought everything over to her. So then I said to the one doctor, I said, "Is Dr. Angeles around? I'd like to thank him." Who's Dr. Angeles? So, and I said, "Dr. Angeles, he was there. He told me about my wife that they're going to bring us. We ordered it. Yes. He told someone to order the blood. They couldn't find him. He didn't even exist in the hospital. Dr. Angel."
Wow.
So
wow.
we
That
have.
sounds like it was orchestrated.
Yes, there's a reason for it. Each and every
Yeah.
one of us gets help, and we all have a purpose here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, when spirit decides to help and step in and move, it's fast and it's seamless and it's really awesome. And it's just wordless. It just amazes you.
Yeah. I thank God for the help, and I thank the angels that were helping. And she has a purpose to be here still. She's not done.
Yeah.
And she's tough as nails. She's still here, and she's tough as nails. She's not giving up.
That's right. We're saying no to exiting yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll give you a call after. Thank you. And I hope the best for everybody that's listening as well, and everybody that follows you.
Thank you. Okay. Have a great, we'll talk to you a little bit later, my dear.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. So I know what that one, I'm going to write this down here. I know what it is. So don't forget. This is going to help her. Now, reason why I didn't mention it on the program, folks, what it is that she needs help with, because YouTube will not allow me to talk about this. Okay. This dang goat Luke, folks, that's in my chat room, and it said they want to ask about favorite color and search it. That's the same they're just making up new people's names. So don't send a friend request to these people, folks, because this is what they're trying to do. Like I said before, anytime I'm entered, here's what happens whenever I do psychic mediumship on any show. Anybody does psychic mediumship on a show, you'll always get people trying to come into your chat room, and they're going to try to take them away from you. They try to steal your clients or steal the people that come in your chat room. And the thing is that they're not readers. And if they are not good people. They're there to hurt you. They're not there to help you. So, So Tom says that person sent a friend request. Don't, because there's so many scammers in there, folks. I got pretend to be's like that are not good. They say, oh, they're so and so in the reader. I go like, no, you're not, because I already know who you are. Because if you see only one picture of them or two pictures of them on that screen when they're friend requesting, that gives you a heads up that they're not real people. They're there to scam you. So just watch your back, okay? And it happens all the time, I basically block them and done. Like I just touch the screen, touch where they are, and go block. You're done. And they never come back. They can't come back. And then they'll try and change their name again to be somebody else. They'll start up another new page, pretend to be somebody, and they come back in, and then they'll make up names. They repeat it. So you're blocking the name. But if it goes too far that they try to play the game, well, next time you just touch that again, and this time you report them, and you say that it's a scammer, or they are, whatever they're going to do, they're going to cause more trouble. Okay, we have here. Let's see here. Miracles do happen, Diane. Yes, they do. Big time. Let's see here. Okay. Still taking calls, guys. 360-566-2875. Love to hear from you. I think somebody else was trying to call in before. Area code 206.
This is Nikki Jacobs. Hey, Derrick.
Hey, Nikki. How's it going?
Doing all right. Had a question about the ETs. I was wondering what you were picking up on.
ETs? The ETs?
Yeah, ETs. Extraterrestrial.
The ETs? You're talking about the ones working with you?
Yeah, the ones that abduct me and the ones that work with me and the ones that deal with government, all of it. I'm just wondering what you're picking up.
I will say this, that your last, I'm not going to say abduction, your last connection with them are female, blondes. They are
they blue?
Not blue face, but they're actually, they look human.
Yeah.
What's her name? I wish I could have her
name. I've never had names.
No, I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get her name as identity of who they are, not name as in who she is, but a name of Syrian. Okay, she's
Syrian.
Was that?
Syrian?
The Syrian, yes. She's a good one. She's blonde. She wears a blue. I'm seeing wearing a blue jumpsuit. It looks like a blue jumpsuit. She's good. She's a good person. She's actually she's almost like a relative of the Palladians, but she's there for a reason. She's there to help you, not to harm you.
Is she the one that keeps sending me downloads? Because I know that I've got an ET.
Yes.
I call it. I know it's a female. I know that she sends me downloads, but I think of her as a spirit guide. But yet I know darn well she's not a spirit guide because she's not. Yeah,
but she's not playing she's not playing the role of an angel. She's actually is. I can't. Well, yeah, like a Nordic. Thank you very much, Tom. She's like a Nordic. So, but she stands normal height. She's like maybe 5'5", 5'7", somewhere in there. Like she looks like us, but she's very tiny, but like a slim, trim, tiny. But she's like older. Like she looks like she's almost like 400 or 500 years old. Like her age. Like, but she's got she's got a full lifespan. She works with you, and she says she's been working with you since you're a little girl, so she's been around you all the time.
That actually.
She said that she said to me to tell you that you've been talking to her since you were 6 or 7 years old, and she said the first time she talked to you or spoke to you, you were at the lake with your family.
Oh my God. Okay, well that just triggered stuff.
Okay, so that's where it started. Like the edge of the lake, you were there, and she was there to talk to you. I mean, she said you could see her, but nobody else could. But you had a dog, as like a white and black dog. Like it shows me white dog. This dog was with you when she actually was there talking to you, because the dog was barking at her, or sort of like staring at her, and then you saw her, and she saw you, and then she spoke to you. So she's been with you ever since.
Is she the one that was? Oh God, this is going to sound bizarre. Is she the one that was standing on water, or was she the one that was on the sand? I'm going to call it sand because I don't know what else to call it. It's not dirt, but it was shoreline, I guess is what you would call it.
Yeah, she was at the shoreline. She not, well, it looked like she was on water, but they all do have the ability to levitate, but she was more like on she was, I'm seeing it look like a tray. It looks like a circular tray that you're standing on. She actually comes forward to the shoreline.
Yeah.
And then she's on the sand edge, like she's right at the edge of the water. She wasn't trying to get you out of the water because you didn't go in. you were in a little bathing suit that has little frills on it, like.
Yeah, I remember this.
Okay, because she shows me like the ruffle on your top and the ruffle on your bottom, like you had a little ruffle.
Yep.
And that's the material. She shows, like, I'm remote viewing. She shows me exactly, and I'm talking to her. She says, "You're fun. Thank you."
She's got an interesting personality. That I remember.
But she always keeps you happy, keeps you up to par. And then she's been around you since she shows me crib. So that means that she's been with you ever since your birth.
Okay, so here's an oddball question regarding that. Is she?
She's telling me, she wants to say this to me to tell you she's your sister.
Oh, holy crap!
Yeah. So you
I know what that means.
You came here to learn something from here. So
yep.
You were brought here. She's the one that's watching over you. She says she's your sister. So I normally don't say that, but she says she is. So I have to go with it.
You know, I get what that means. There's a specific meaning to that. I get what that means. I just don't know if I can explain it. Is she the one that through the? Okay, this is going to get into some interesting things. I had somebody. When I was a teenager, I had a situation to where I had a bunch of little items in my hand, and my hand was hit. I was the only one that was home at the time, and my hand was hit, and everything went flying out of my hand.
She keeps on. Well, she shows me checkers, not chess. She shows me checkers, like a checker board with checkers, black and red checkers. And you were playing. You were playing checkers with your grandfather.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so
I know what that means too.
Yeah, this is what she's showing me here.
Wow.
Yeah, and she says that you had a fixation of taking coins and stacking them with your fingers, as if they were you go and she says you
did that with quarters.
You used to, and you irritated her. She goes, "Stop that."
I used to do that with quarters. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, she says that's how she see you do it. She said you're playing with the quarters up and down. You're dropping them. You drove her nuts. She was trying to talk to you.
I was about 7 or 8 years old with
you
that.
You had your hands, like she said, you had your hands like this, and you're going on the desk table. Drove her nuts.
Okay, well, that helped.
Yeah.
Also triggered some things that I'd forgotten about, so I appreciate that.
So she's going to be with you right to the full life of you and some.
Yeah, right.
I would say as soon as the
97 or whatever.
Well, let's put it this way. No, before that, even longer than that, because she says as soon as the med beds come in, you'll be here longer with her. Like she's going to show you stuff. So med beds.
So she's going to be the one. Okay.
Yeah, the med beds become the lifespan, so you'll have a longer life, like 130 or so.
Whoa, because I used to get psychically and mediumship wise, I have been consistently told and shown between the age that I will be around between 92 and 97 years, and I start laughing because
that's before the beds. That's before the med.
Before the bed. Okay.
Okay.
That actually makes more sense.
It's going to go. Yeah, it's going to go even further. Like people don't realize once they come out, and I will be honest with you guys, once they come out, you have an option to there's 4 kinds of beds. Okay, I've seen them. Yeah. I've seen them, but I was on one of them back in 2002. Okay, on the ship. But the one that they have is it's actually an age enhancer. So basically you can live up to about 300 years. So, but they're going to, again, it's a decision. It's a processing time period. We'll make that decision whether you want to live longer or, it's your choice of lifespan. So, but again, that's down the road. And I can't say when they're going to be here, but I know very well they're going to be here not too long from now. I can't put a date on it. It's just that I know they're here. I know they're already here. I just have to wait. Like, let's put it this way. Daniel Brinkley predicted them back in 1982. He said that before he leaves this world, those, and I'm hoping I'm quoting him correctly, but he said before he leaves this world, those beds will exist and people will be using them. And he talks about the lighting beds. He predicted that. He actually seen them and predicted that in his own books.
Wow.
Yeah. And I know Daniel Brinkley. Yeah.
That's incredible. Okay, oddball question. I know I'm hitting you with a bunch of stuff.
That's okay.
Are they going to allow me to have more hybrids? Or am I done?
Hybrids of what? Next lifetimes?
No. More of my children.
Oh.
Are they going to allow more children for me?
Or
am I done?
I can't say. It's the choice of them. I wish I could make that prediction.
I know.
I wish I could make the prediction, but sometimes, you know what? I'll tell you this. There's, like I said, a lady friend of mine one time, she had difficulty having babies. She couldn't, for 11 years, she tried to have children. The doctor said, no, you never have kids. When she went to Croatia, and she went to a village called Medjugorje, okay, which is where Jesus' mother's statue is there, and her statue weeps. There's no machine that turns on the water. Yeah, she actually is there, and thousands upon millions of people have actually gone there to get healing. And I encouraged her to go with her husband. He's actually originally from Croatia, but she herself was Chinese, and she went with him to the village, and he thought he'd be walking beside her to walk down to the statue, and she says, no, you stay here. I feel that you need to stay here. So she walked down to the statue. She knelt on her knees, and she was about a half an hour, and she spent time in front of the statue. First time of her life she's ever experienced something so powerful. When she got up on her feet, she walked towards her husband, and she said, I will have a child. We will have a child. She went home, and she was announced by the doctor, said that she was pregnant. And she ended up having 2 kids.
Wow.
So,
well, see, I've had one biological human, but I've had numerous ET human hybrids. I've met
a lot of women. I've met a lot of women that have had their children on the ship, like had babies on the ship taken away. I've met lots of them.
They take mine at 3 months old, or at 3 months gestational while I'm pregnant.
Yes,
there's a pattern.
Yes, that's what they do. Yeah, and then you get to see them after.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, they come up, they'll bring her back on the ship and say, "Hi, mommy."
Yep. And then some. And
then they're gonna go, "Oh my goodness, you all grown up," but their eyes are much larger than a regular human's eyes. They're much larger, but they look they look almost like you, but they're shorter, tinier, but bigger eyes. And like I tell people, the reason why they're here, reason why they're trying to have kids or having children, because a lot of these beings on other planetary systems have died out, and so they look for women to help assist. And they've also taken men to help aid the female extras to have children as well. So a lot of guys have no idea they know they're being examined. They don't realize they're being like donators.
Yeah, there's a few guys that I know that don't have a clue, and I'm like, not my place to, because you're not remembering. They're describing things to me, and I'm like,
but not often they'll actually get you to remember, because you don't always remember. But if you sometimes people have, they feel like they're having a dream or nightmares, and they dream that they're on the table, but they dream that that something was taken from them. And there was one doctor that I remember, one lady that I knew, a young lady I knew, that she actually she went to go see a gynecologist, and this doctor said to her, how come you're aborting children? He says, you look like you've already lost them about like 4 or 5 times. She says, I've never aborted a child. She goes, it looks like you were. So, they can tell that these kids are taken from them. And she goes, I never had abortions. And so, and her history records shows they never did. but to them, to the way that the gynecologist sees it, to him, he says, so then this woman realized after that somebody was taking them from her on the ship, because she went through hypnotherapist. And so she saw through hypnotherapy of her being abducted and being on the ship. And then she realized after, this is the mistake that a lot of these extraterrestrial beings do. They get you to forget. But the thing is that you've already been damaged at times. And sometimes some women are unable to have regular born children because of the abuse. So I try to let them know that you need to go to, I'm not say abuse, the way they proceed to take the children, but they need to not take the memory away, because and show them, say, look, here's what we need you to do for us. You're a donor, or we need you to help populate our planet. Well, then it's understandable. Yeah. Women, a lot of young women would say, okay, I'm helping out. You're helping to assist, but they're not telling them all the time. And sometimes they'll let them leave with some memory. They say, oh yes, we did take the baby. Like one of my friends up in California, she had one taken from her. In fact, she actually had a clamp, titanium clamp put in, that there's no way she should have got pregnant. She called me up on the phone. She goes, Derrick, I was taken on the ship, and they took this laser and they blew up they basically destroyed the titanium clamp, and she's next to me, now I'm pregnant. Wow. Now, why did they choose her? Because she ended up having 2 kids. But why did they choose her? Because they knew that she already was taken once before, but but she was hoping that because she already had 3 kids already. So she ended up having 5 in total from another marriage.
Incredible.
Yeah. It's crazy. But that's what happens. You got 3 of your own, and 1 was taken from you, and you get 2 of your own in your own life. So she ended up having 6 kids, but 1 was on the ship.
Wow.
Yeah.
People's stories just absolutely amaze me. I'm an ET abductee, and I still am, even though I know it's real, I know what's going on.
I would call it. I
am so amazed.
Yeah, but call yourself a contactee, because you're more than just abducted. Okay. If you were abducted, it would be traumatic. If you felt traumatized,
honey,
then yes.
I've got traumatic issue. I've got major traumatic.
Yeah.
That's why I said I've got there's a couple of different groups, races, ETs, and that's why I was asking, which one am I really?
Well, by rule of universal law, they should not every other type of extra being should actually have the right to take you. Like it should be one group and that's it. But if there's too many, then you need to tell them. Oh my God. Well, they must love you.
Group, yeah, one group works with the government and the other 2 don't, and one's very nasty and the other one's very loving. So,
the other thing I would say, you may have a contract with them and not know it. You could have had that.
I know I've got a contract with the one that you told me about. I know that there's a contract with them, but they're very loving and kind, but they're also not allowing me to remember, and that is not cool in my book.
Sometimes they're called they call them birth contracts, and I've heard that story before.
Yeah.
So
So anyway, I let you be, but thank you so much.
No, thanks for calling in. Yeah, great conversation.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Take care.
I'll continue watching. Thank you, Derrick.
Okay, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Crazy. These things happen, folks. So let's see, 360-566-2875. Got a few more, take a couple more calls. If you're more than welcome to call in, you're more welcome to. On the 25th of January, which is next couple of weeks, I'm bringing back Bill, and we're going to have the Ghost Box back out here again. So on the 25th, put that in your kind of calendar. We're bringing the Ghost Box back in again, and we'll be talking to those who have passed away. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to get a hold of a good friend of mine, Mike Morin, and see if we can get him to come over here and do an interview as well, because he's got some pretty cool ghost boxes. Plus, he's actually one of the original team members I worked with when we were paranormal investigating and traveling across BC here, doing some paranormal investigating. It's gonna be a lot of fun to do. So I'm looking forward to doing that as well. We shall see. Some really good things happening, folks, coming up. And now, to prepare you folks ahead of time, like I said before, they're saying the 7th and 8th, there's possibly, someone sent me the message saying it's possibly could be a blackout. Not the one we have right now, but they're talking about having a lockdown. I thought it was tonight, but it's not. But they're talking about January 7th and 8th. So I'm hoping it doesn't happen. But that's a big heads up. So just let you know. But if it doesn't happen, good, right? But again, like I said before, I want to send prayers and lots of prayers and healing to all those people that are victims and all across the world that actually have dealt with volcanic disruptions as well as the floods. Okay, there's so many countries that deal with flooding right now as we speak. So, area code 780.
Hey, how's it going there, Derek?
Hey, how's it going?
It's Travis here from
Hey.
Alberta, your good old friend.
How's Travis doing up in Alberta?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Just wanted to call in and say Happy New Year, and I don't know, just call in and say hello. How's it going? And just kind of catch up, I guess.
Can you talk about your book for a few minutes? You said you got your brand new edited book that you actually are releasing. What is it? What's the title, and where can they get you? Where can they find your books?
Oh, yeah, we could. So you could find my fantasy realm kind of book. It's similar a lot to, similar to like Lord of the Rings kind of style tale. But you can find it on Amazon, pretty much every Amazon network across the world. But like I said, you can find it on there for $25. The book is called Fort Sunder, FORTSUNDER.
Good.
And it's a book about kingdoms, magic, and war, and you name it. It's pretty wild.
Now, is that part 1?
Yes, this is part 1. Actually, yeah, this is like the realm itself has a lot of history to it, so there's a lot of different stories from a different angle that make up this whole bigger picture of it, right? So
folks,
yeah, this is
to our listeners, Travis is a cliffhanger writer.
Well, actually, the nice thing about Fort Sunder is it actually ends on really it ends on a good note, and it's kind of like
don't tell him the story.
Well, I'm just saying it's a beautiful, it's a wild one, but I also have another book, but you have to search for it under all books because it is it is like an online ebook, so you do have to search for it in the all books category.
Sure.
But it's doing pretty good out there, and it's called The Pleiadian Who Stole Me and My Heart, and that one's that's the very first of another series that I'm working on.
Well, that's
and that one's more like a sci-fi adventure, and it's more humorous and kind of it has illustrations throughout it as well, and
See, the guy is this guy's a heartbreaker.
It's funny. That's funny, but yeah, no, it's been what it is, man. I've been happy with that, to release those, like to see them, I've written them out and I printed them out myself, like as just like a pile of papers on my bookshelf, but to see it fully developed and like into a book that's sitting there now, and it's a whole nother level for that, right? And I'm proud of it. That I'm happy that it exists and it's out there for the ages now.
Yeah. Hey, Travis, I just got someone asked me in the chat room. They said, "Is he single?"
That's wild. Yeah. You say yeah. But let me just. So I've been just kind of just busy with all sorts of projects and working, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, it's. Is there anything else you would like to know, or?
You're like now. You're actually. What are the stars in the sky like right now? Are they cloudy or still clear? You get to do a lot of stargazing when you're out there.
Let me go check. Last few nights have been kind of overcast, but let me just see.
Because I know there's a lot of activity in that area where you're living, especially when they have the oh my God.
Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis. You have it a lot out there, a lot. And, so that's last time I was there. I would say one time I was there quite a few years ago. But when I was there, I was up at Drift Pile and I stayed over a friend of mine there. And when I drove, I remember the Aurora Borealis followed me to the reserve. And I thought it was following me because it was going left with me. It was coming down the road. And I went down, I drove in and I parked it. And my friend came out the door and he said, Derrick, you need to say this. And I looked at the sky and the Aurora Borealis, its center opened up wide open. And we saw everyone's faces in there, sides of their faces. And they're all looking at each other and as if they're moving. And I went, oh my God, there's my mom. And then he looked up and he said, oh, there's my grandfather. He just passed away. I got to go to the hospital, he said. And he left heading down to the hospital. His grandfather just passed, his emotion. So he left, but I'm standing there going like, and there's my mom. And then I said, hi, Mom. And she turned and looked down at me and she smiled.
Yeah.
And I said, love you, Mom. And then the Aurora Borealis closed. Both of us seen it together.
Wow.
It wasn't just by myself. Both of us seen it together. That was amazing. Absolutely amazing. That's why I asked, how is it up there? So sometimes you can talk to the Aurora Borealis and see, hey, are any of my ancestors in there? Can you want to talk? Open up. Because they will. That's the connection to the spirit world. It's like another little, how you doing? Just doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it 100%. And also too, the ET like to use them as well. Like they power up, like they connect with the electromagnetic grid. And they like to come and check it out, or they like to fly through them. I noticed.
Yeah, and they especially when they find out that Travis is connected to ETs, they'll be down there visiting you.
Oh, they do. They always do. And I'm always like so intrigued by a lot of the crafts that come through, and just kind of how it's like it's always a new, like it never ceases to surprise me, like how many new craft are out there in the universe, and it's always like a brand new thing. Like it's never the same thing always. It's always like it's a brand new craft every time they do come around or fly above us, or when they reveal themselves, I should say.
Yeah. Oh, I remember I was talking to probably I would say a good half dozen people there between Sucker Creek and Drift Pile, and about 6 individual people told me that they've actually have been taken on the ships.
Yep.
And so it's very common in that area. It is a hot zone, folks. There have been abductions in there. And some of them are quite some of the guys were traumatized, mostly men, but some of them were traumatized by that. They didn't
there was a guy who it was kind of funny. He's from Drift Pile, an older gentleman. He was probably in his late 60s or middle 60s there, but he was like talking to me. He came up to my because he's seen all my paintings.
Yeah.
When I was selling them at the flea market, and he came up to me and he's like, "So he took you up on the ships too, eh?" Like he recognized some of the things that I was showing in my paintings and my art, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, they took me up 2 years ago. I was like around your age too, and he was telling me all these things, and we're just like we're comparing some of the stuff, eh? And he had some very, very, very interesting experiences with a lot of the other ET there, like the other Greys and stuff like that picked them up, and he said he spent a couple months with them and flying around, but there's
you know what? It's what happens, folks. Have you ever seen that movie called My Stepmother's an Alien? That's based on similars, because it's always the young guys. They get them on the ship, and there's a row of girls on the ship waiting for you to come up on the ship.
You guys got to read The Pleiadian Who Stole Me in My Heart. I'm not even joking right now. You guys got to read it. You got to check it out now.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
You guys got to get his book. You got to get his book. Telling me.
Too funny. Oh, that's good. So good. Right on, Derrick. Well, thanks for allowing me to call in and come and say hi and Happy New Year and talk about these books and
No
talk a
problem.
little bit about the ETs and, you know, and
Yeah.
it's always nice. It's always a pleasure hearing you too and watching your shows. And
you want to
keep it up,
you want to
man.
let our listeners know where they can find you to get your book, order your book.
Oh, yes. You can find my page on Facebook, Travis Willier, actor, writer, painter page, or you could just look it up on Amazon under Fort Sunder, FORTSUNDER, Fort Sunder, and written by me, Travis Willier. You can find the Palladian Who Stole Me and My Heart as well on Amazon, and you just have to look under books. Just go type it in the books, because if you go type it in general, you might get something else like fort construction things or whatever, you know what I mean, like funny kind of stuff like that. So,
no, Travis is not building a fort yet.
Yeah, make sure it's under books and you'll find them all there. So that's the way to go about it. If not, if you know how to get a hold of me or Derrick, I could even just link him, send them a link or whatever.
Yeah,
So
you guys can always
put it
ask
up in
me
his
where
chat
to
or
find
something.
Travis. I'll just pass your name over to him, and then he can have a chat with you guys, and you can place your order.
Yeah, I currently even have some copies that are available for order, and I personally sign them out to you. So
there you go.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Derrick.
Take care, my
Appreciate it,
friend.
man. You have a good night. I'm keeping you up. I'm lurking in the background watching the show. So
Okay. Enjoy your week, my friend.
You too. Thanks.
Okay. Take care. Yeah. This has been a good night. Even though we came in late, folks, because of the power outage, we had this blackout here for a good hour, or I would say just before 7 o'clock. Like it took me about a little after 7:30, pardon me, before I got in to start the show, because it took that long to get everything all set up and move it. But other than that, we're doing quite well. Now somebody's actually asked me the question, like, what is this over here? This here, what you see right here, is actually another, I have here my other screen, my pads over here, so I get to see what's going on my page, which is a Facebook page, the activity, and then here you'll see me here, which is from Facebook Live, and then on the other screen here on the right side of my screen, like I've got, it's all over the place. And then I have YouTube, so I'm back and forth here, back and forth, talk to you guys. So I get to see what's happening here, movement here. So we do have a lot of activity. We got over 99 comments. Holy, which is good. Over 99 comments. So it's not 99 visitors, but 99 comments, which is nice to see that. Okay, now I'm going to let everybody else know also there. If anybody really wants to get a full 1 hour reading, you're more than welcome to call me to make an appointment. And if you want to go to my website called whiteskycloud.com, you'll see the page. Just have a look, and then it shows you what my fees are. Whiteskycloud.com, you can see all the things I'm doing. And then if you want to make an appointment, give me a text to my or just email me, whichever you want to do. It's whiteskycloud@yahoo.com. Also, like I said, next week we're going to be working on updating what's going to happen and what's going to happen this coming in the next few weeks. Like I said before, on the 25th of this month of January, we're going to have Bill back, and Bill's going to be bringing the ghost box back in again to talk to those who are passed away, which is going to be great, right? And be a lot of fun to do. It's going to be absolutely, because we had Bill back here, and he's so looking forward to coming back. And we actually did, we got a lot of major confirmations from people previously before that night. I sent out the copy of the video show program, and I emailed them, or actually texted them to all the people of the program, and the people that actually did call in, seen the video, reviewed it from loved ones that they were trying to make contact with. They listened and watched, and they said, my God, I can't believe it, that actually that's them that's actually coming through, speaking through the box. So, which is fabulous. I was very happy to see that this happened. And Bill was actually telling me tonight that earlier this evening that my friend Mike got himself a new ghost box. So I'm looking forward to see if I can get a hold of Mike and see maybe get him over here. We can probably, possibly, hopefully one of these. I'm hoping on a Thursday we can grab him here, bring him in the studio, and do a live session out of his box. See what he can do. This is like, again, everybody has their own versions of communication with spirit. I mean, myself as a medium, I work with Mike, I've worked with Bill. We've both been paranormal investigators for a lot of years. We've been a lot of our major, I would say major travels was Barkerville. Now, I've been there 5 times. Barkerville is one of the mainstays of huge amount of paranormal activity, as well as communication with spirit. And even Mike's first experience when him and I were together, he actually watched a ghost walk through me from my back through to the front, and that ghost scared the crap out of him. It went to him through my face, out at him, and scared him. He ran behind the bar. He was scared, but first time experience for him, right? I mean, he wanted to be a paranormal investigator. He was a paranormal investigator, but this one actually went further than he expected. So certain things can happen to people they not realize can affect them. To me, I'm used to it, and ghosts and spirits don't harm me because I have guides that work with me to make sure I'm not harmed. And I said, look, guys, I'm here to help out. I'm here to join you to make the communication. That's what my job is. And this is what we're here for. So, in fact, Ernie in the chat room said he was able to make contact with his wife clearly after she passed away. And she wasn't gone that long. She hasn't passed away that long. So she came through the box. And a few more other people that came through the box. Thank you, Ernie, for supporting this, for confirmation. Like I said before, folks, there's a lot of things that we've always wanted to share with our listeners and viewers out there. The reason why I do these shows, and through these last few years, I've been so busy doing a lot of informing people what's going on in this world, because we were here to be more of a libertarian, but also give people heads up about how to take care of themselves and not to worry what's going on. And my job, I was asked by them up there to be a speaker for them as well, so we can take the fear out of, try and help people bring more calmness and having to worry about being fearful of what's going on in this world. And because we've been so brainwashed so much for so many years, and I just said, enough is enough. I've got to do something because it made me feel like I have to. So I decided to speak out, and that's what I've been doing. So I'm still working as a reader, still mediumship. That's my main work. That's what I do for a living all my life. I'm a crafter as well. I do crafting, but I mix it all up, whatever I'm able to do. And I love working with stones and crystals. It's one of the things that I like to work with, doing healing. Now, and I'm working on, by the end of, before I forget, end of January, I haven't set up a date yet. But most likely by the end of January, beginning of February, I'm going to be creating another psychic development workshop. And I'm looking for more people. Well, not looking for, if anybody wants to take the courses. It's an 8-week course. It's actually 9 weeks, but the 9th week is actually, basically it's give everybody an update how they're doing so far. But it's an 8-week course. And have a look on my website. You'll see the fee. It's and you pay payments as you go along each week. It's on a Saturday, and it's a 4-hour course. But even the best readers, I've had them help them improve their skills even more, because I've met some of the readers that are even mediums that even they are absolutely scared of seeing a ghost. Like, they don't want to see them. They're willing to communicate with people passed away, but they don't want to see them. And I go like, why are you afraid? That's their phobia. So I help them take the next step, not to worry of being fearful of them. So, this is what I try to do to help them out. And I give them that option if they want to take the next step and go further with their skills. And when they do, they wish they should have done it 20 or 30 years ago, or whoever's been doing it for us a long time. But this is what my job is, to help give people that next step, that next next step to evolve to the next level of your, like I said, thank you journey for their journey. And that's what it is. So anyways, I'm putting the word out there, folks. I will be putting a flyer out on Facebook soon and letting people know when the dates are. It's every Saturday when I start the dates. It'll be every Saturday. It'd be from 12 noon until 4-ish. And that's what the course of class is. And you'll be learning. And I get people to bring a pad and paper with them, or bring a pad and a pen with them. And you'll be learning a lot about this work. Here we go again. See, they're coming in. This person calls out guiding light healing. And the same people, they're the same people. They like to interfere with people like us. So they go, we'll give you a zodiac sign. Like, yeah, right. Gypsies. Okay. That's what they are, folks. They like to interfere. You just can't enjoy a night on your own chat room with them trying to interfere. That's 3 times, 3 individuals. And it could be the same person with the same freaking names. And they just don't quit. So they're blocked. You're done, both folks. You're done. Like, those guys are done. You're out of here. And if I had it my way, really have my way, now you wouldn't just be blocked. You'd be kicked out of Facebook completely. You wouldn't be back. I'd be able to come in at all. Period. Anyways, what else is there? Yeah, like I said before, the courses are available, and if you guys are interested in if anybody's interested, wanted to sign up, contact me, whiteskycloud.com. whiteskycloud@yahoo.com. And, or if you can contact my wife, her phone number, and say you want to sign up, and then we'll let you know when we'll be starting. But most likely the end of January would be what would that go into? Either the 27th, or I would say February for sure. So the month of February for sure. So it'll be on the 2nd. Or most like 2nd of February. It'd be an 8-week course. So you're looking at 8 weeks right in through March. And it's worth it. You get to learn a lot in the skills, right? So then from there on, you get certified. You actually get a certificate to prove that you took the course. And then from how you use your skills from there on is your choice. That's how it works out, right? Okay. Thank you guys for being part of the program, and thank you guys for calling in. Those are actually calling. I asked for the readings, and I want to thank all of my listeners and viewers in the program. Look forward to seeing you guys again. If you want to find me, I'll be actually on Rumble as well. This whole recording will be on Rumble as well, so it's saved in there. And as well, if you want to find me, I also have a page on try and get my thing there. I got so many things I want to say before I forget. Telegram. And I want to say this: if you want to find my page and see what else is going on in my work, is I have a page called True North, Strong and Free. If you haven't joined Telegram, it's worth your while. Join Telegram, because you have the freedom of speech, freedom of say, and you get to see a lot of things that are going on in this world. And it gives you a bit of an update what's going on in your life, what you need to do next. Or you can also share information on our page. So I have a page called True North, Strong and Free. It's a group page. It's in capital letters: True North, Strong and Free. But look for me in there. Join up. If you haven't got it, download the app. It's worth your while. Okay, and just keep in touch, and you guys will do well. Right? And enjoy life every day. Like I said, this world is going through a storybook. It's a movie, and we're just playing catch up. And sometimes it may feel like and once in a while, people have actually said to me, they felt they kind of lost, or they feel like they feel like they're kind of depressed. It's not you. It's the energies making the major shift, and the earth is actually, Mother Earth is east-west, or in north, south, east, west shifting, and we're going through a matrix shift. So it's not you. It's just that you're working in it, and you're not used to being pushed so hard that you feel confused. And sometimes people feel like, okay, I'm so out of it, I don't know what to do. So not to worry about it, okay? Just go work with the energy. Don't fight against it, and you'll be fine. absolutely fine. And look forward to the next level, because next week when I talk to you guys, we'll talk about this particular issue. People having to deal with depression and wonder why they're so depressed. It has nothing to do with what happened in the past these last 3 years. It's all to do with the energy shifting, and I'll share with you what you can do from there on. Okay, so guys, be good to each other. We'll talk to you guys next time. In the meantime, God be with you all, and love you guys. We'll see you guys later. Peace. Have a great weekend.
Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace. Isn't it time when the stars die? Isn't it time another stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace.